What's up, guys? Cave Troll here. It's going to be a little bit different of a Smiley butt review, mainly because Yamaha were being buttholes and not letting us record on the rides. If you were on my Instagram, you probably saw Yamaha actually posted on some weird, long, drawn out, blah 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 excuse, not really answering why they're not letting it happen, but oh well, they're the one that's missing out on all the free advertisement from all the motovloggers that ride their stuff and record. So, whatever. We will start off with the Star Venture. It's a 2018 and it had the 19s out yet. This is a huge bike. I mean, the front end of this thing's got to be, I don't know, it feels like it's about 4 feet wide. But it's a big bike. Figured that, because it was such a big bike and I'm such a tall, big guy, that it would work out great. Wrong. It was, the seat that was on there was very cramped for the driver. Now, for the passenger, because it has the tour pack on the back, for the passenger, it had lots and lots of room. Now, switching out the seats probably will, give you some more room. I know I tried the Eluder, which is the one that, it's the same bike, just doesn't have the tour pack. And the seat on there gave me a lot more room, but a lot less room for the passenger. One issue I did have with either one of the bikes was the fact that there was no room for highway pegs. And the floorboards, yes, they were big, but that doesn't help when you're, have a size 16, 17 shoe. Riding it, I don't really know if it was just me, due to it being a new bike, something getting used to. It felt really weird at slow speeds. I mean, super weird. It was very top heavy. I mean, once I got going, it was fine, but at slow speeds, it was very top heavy. The throttle was kind of jerky to me, and I did have it on tour mode. It started off in, sport mode or sport touring mode, and I switched over to tour mode, but it was still a little bit jerky. Now, granted, I'm coming from an actual cable throttle, that's 40 years old, and this is, all electronic, so that could be where that discrepancy is coming from. Power wise, I mean, it felt like it had a lot of power. Then again, look at what I normal ride compared to this. I know I've heard other people complain about it not having a lot of power, and that might be the case compared to what they ride, but I mean, it doesn't take much to outpower the Shovelhead. All in all, I think if I would have been more comfortable, because I was super cramped on it, if I'd have been more comfortable, then, it would have been a better demo ride of that bike. My wife she was comfortable to an extent. The tour pack where the wraparounds for her seat, they were like digging into her arm, where her placement of her arms was, and literally it felt like she was about 1.5 feet away from me. It felt like she was super far back, and even she said she was super far back from me. Other than that, I mean, it was a decent bike. Definitely, I would say probably not the one I'm going to be looking into. I mean, I wouldn't mind trying to ride it again with maybe a different seat to see if I get a better feel, but it's still going to be the end result of, if I can't put highway pegs on there, then it's not going to help me out as tall as I am. So moving over to Marshall 3498's baby, the FJR, was the second bike I rode. And I rode this one by myself because my wife was, she needed coffee that day, so she was not in the best of moods. Plus, she's not a fan of, sport bikes or sport touring bikes anyway, so she even said it just looked uncomfortable. Marshall rode this bike when we first got down there, and we had a great time that day anyway. and then I test rode it because I was gonna ride the Eluder that next ride, but they were all taken up. So I test rode it, and I started off in tour mode. And I'd have to say, if I was single, this would probably be a bike that I would actually look into getting. The power on it was just amazing. I'm not gonna say it was the most comfortable bike, but I'm not really used to that riding style with my feet kind of, angled back. The only major issue I did have was if we had to stop and I had to put my feet down, then it took me, 5-10 seconds to figure out where my feet actually went back on the pegs at. The pegs automatically folded up if you pushed on them. I guess it's because if you lean too far over, they'll just fold in, and instead of digging into the road. This kind of posed a little bit of a problem for my big foot, because every time I throw my foot back, it would push the peg in. But it was a super fun bike, and I mean it was comfortable to an extent, and I could probably get more comfortable to it. It definitely wouldn't work for two up for me and my wife. But yeah, if I was single, I'd probably look into that bike. Had a lot of touring features, and I switched over and put it into sport mode to have a little fun, and just the power response of that bike was amazing. The demo riders, Yamaha demo riders, this wasn't no lazy little stroll through the mountain roads. I mean, they were getting it. At one point, I kind of backed off a little bit because I got stuck at a stop sign, and I caught up to them. I mean, I got up to 65, 70 on a backcountry road real quick, and didn't even feel like I was doing that fast. So it would definitely be a fun bike. I would just have to get used to my leg placement and the seating placement of it. But other than that, it was an all-around good day. I really wish I had some recordings of the ride, considering coming back and doing this, on the back end it's a little strange, and I'm pretty sure I forgot some stuff or not went over certain things. But my reviews are going to be more based on the comfort level and everything, and how it feels to me, opposed to the actual specs of the bike. You can look up the specs of the bikes if you want. The specs to me just aren't have nothing to do with whether the bike feels good or the enjoyment you get out of the bike. So I'll leave that to more of the gearhead kind of guys that enjoy the specs of each bike. All in all, it was a great day. Went down, met Marshall. Me and my wife did a bunch of touristy stuff after I got some coffee in her. Had some good food. Found a great place that had fried okra. Blue Bike and Doyle was actually down there that particular day, but we really didn't, at that point in time, we didn't know that they were down there, so we kind of missed out on meeting with them. So that kind of sucked. That would have been awesome to be able to meet up with them. But yeah, it was a great day. I will let you guys get going. If you like what you see in here, like, share, subscribe, comment. Cave Troll out. Peace.